Hey guys.
We're here on Monday to do one of our infamous double headers, which means 2 videos for those of you that don't know what a double header is. Starting off with Primalfrost, Stormbearer. This is a band that reached out and asked us to check out their video. They're Canadian, and I have a feeling that based on the name of the song and the name of the band, this is either going to be a Monomarthish or Inseferamush.
Ooh.
Either one or the other. I kind of get that vibe.
Listen, if it comes out like either one of those two,
oh, it's a win-win.
It's a win-win, yeah.
It's a win-win. Plus, they're Canadian. Let's show Canadian bands some love on this channel. Anyways, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Wow. Wow. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You go first.
I think before we talk about this song is incredible. But before we talk about this song, I have to say two things. I love the two lightsabers at the back. I'm not sure what lightsabers have to do with this, but whatever. I'm okay with it. At least it wasn't toilet paper. So two lightsabers at the back and the black wife beater. I think the only way this could have gotten any better is if it was a white wife beater. Because I feel like that's the more, the more traditional
wife beater
look. You know what I mean? When was the last time you saw a wife beater guy or a guy who beats his wife wearing a black tank top? I can't remember. Yeah. Well, maybe that's why he's wearing it, so that he could, distance himself from that sort of thing, from that stereotype.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why.
He's trying to take back the wife beaters. It sounds really bad. You know what's funny though? I don't know the actual name for them.
It's a vest.
It's not a vest.
What do you call it? Like a tank
wife
top?
beater. I mean, that's what I'm gonna call it.
That's what I called it when I went to the store to buy you one, and when you were like 2 years old, and I walked up to this true story. I walked up to the lady at the Hudson Bay. It doesn't get more Canadian than that. I walked up to the lady at Hudson Bay and I was like, "Excuse me, where can I find wife beaters for 2-year-olds?" And she said to me, "Sir, it's called a vest."
It's not.
And I was like, "You know what I'm looking for, right?"
Yeah,
so if you know what I'm looking for, let's skip this awkward conversation and just point me towards the right aisle.
Yeah.
That was my response exactly. That's exactly what I told her. She wasn't impressed. She probably thinks I beat up my wife. That's probably what she thought. You know what I mean? Or she also thought, what a redneck thing to say.
No, because why would you be a redneck wearing a wife beater and calling them wife beaters?
Me, I'm proud of where I'm coming from. I don't know. I just, as an immigrant, I didn't know the right name for the. So instead of me explaining to her, listen, I have a 2-year-old. He likes to wear these white vests that have no sleeves, and it's kind of like a tank top, but it's not really a tank top. Like, instead of going into all of that, the immigrant in me just went, where can I find a wife beater for a 2-year-old?
Listen,
I got them.
Wife beaters wear them.
I bought a pack.
So they're called wife beaters.
It is what it is.
That's what it is. I'm never gonna not call them wife beaters because it's not a vest. Okay. I'm never gonna call it a vest.
All right. You should ask your mother. I think she knows what it's called.
Whatever.
She should have told me what it's called.
It's called
before I went to buy them. But anyways, man, that was a very awkward exchange at the Hudson Bay. All right, now that we got that out of the way, and that story will forever, like, your mother still talks about that, because it's like, how could you even say that to the lady at the counter? I'm like, how am I supposed to find them? Like, do I think I have the whole time in the world to look around for these things? No, just easier to ask and you shall receive.
Exactly, and
I don't care if I offended anybody, whatever. I made a sale, she got a commission, what the fuck? Like, just move on with it. I didn't mean it with any disrespect for anybody. I don't know the name. That's what I went with. Anyways.
It's a cooler name, though.
I think so, too. Maybe not cooler in terms
It's not cooler,
like, we're not promoting this sort of behavior.
No.
It's not cool at all. It's not cool at all.
It's a name that really fits
the people who wear them.
The people who wear them, yeah.
Unless we're talking about 2-year-olds, because, like...
Exactly.
Whose wife are you beating?
Exactly.
When you're 2. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on from that. I was going to say something that was going to be totally gross and very Leviticity-like. But let's move on. Talking about the song, getting all those shenanigans out of the way, a one-man band kind of reminds me a little bit. He's perhaps the Canadian Thomas from Wolfheart.
Yeah, he can do everything.
He can do everything. This guy can do everything. So he kind of remind. When I start seeing him with the guitar, with the bass, singing, I'm like, fuck. It's like we have our very own Thomas.
Which I'm surprised Thomas hasn't done. I know, like, he's done stuff like where he's the bass player, the guitar player, and the drummer, but then he had someone else vocal for Donna Solace. Like that's that.
But you're waiting for him to do everything
by himself.
He can do everything by himself.
I know he can do everything by himself, but I'm waiting for that.
He just likes to bring other people in so he can tell them how bad they are compared to him.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I could have done much better.
It's also because on the way to his house to record,
they bring ice cream.
Yeah.
See, I was
so he never has to go shopping for it.
I was ahead of you. So anyways, when I saw him, I kind of thought about that. And the song, I was not off. I said that this was either going to be a Monomarthish or Insiferum, I felt like there was a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, yeah.
There's some parts it was a little bit heavier, so it felt more like almost an Amon Amarth track. And then some of those guitar riffs were so melodic and so driven that kind of felt a little bit more like an Insiferum song. It didn't have the folkiness of Insiferum. It actually, when it finishes off, it has more of almost of a symphonic drive that creates almost this cinematic feel. So it's going a little bit away from that. But I wasn't far off in terms of what I was predicting coming in. Now, before I give my justice, are you impressed? Are you entertained?
I was entertained. Yeah, I was definitely entertained.
What do you like the most? What do you like the least?
Fuck, this guy. I must say what's it called? The vocals when it comes to Insiferum and Amon Amarth, these vocals weren't deep enough to be kind of like Amon Amarth, but they weren't screaming enough to be
Insiferum.
They
They're a little
were
bit in the middle.
They were a mixture of both, but not peeking into each.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm trying to say here. They were a perfect fit too.
For the song style, yeah.
A perfect fit for a fast-paced, energetic song. Perfect vocals. I have nothing to bash the song on. I mean, the song was just...
No, I was making fun of the video and stuff, but that's just me that's just me busting balls.
Yeah, you know what? If I'm going to talk about the video, then instead of red, make it like a light blue. Your Frost, you want to... kind of,
I see what you're saying. Instead of going with
the red,
with what's it called, Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Go a little bit more with Sub-Zero. Is that where you're coming with?
Have like a Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I you know what? I can live with that. I'm down with that. But we're just busting balls on the video because the song is magnificent.
Yeah.
I could care less if it's a lyric video. It could have been him in the toilet playing, which still sounded amazing.
I wouldn't have wanted to be a lyric video because then I wouldn't have been able to.
Then we would have known it was just a one-man band.
Just one-man band, and that's why. That's
even more impressive.
That is way more impressive because I'm like, okay, I see him here on the guitar. Oh wait, I see him there on the bass. Oh, there's another guitar in his hand. Does he have like three brothers? What is this?
He's singing too.
He's singing too.
Fuck.
Oh, so there's quadruplets.
Like this guy is everywhere. Just like God in his prime. I just love because now we haven't seen him in a long time. So I just feel like this song is just down my alley of what I like. It's heavy, it's melodic, it's fast, it's driven. The vocals, like you said, you nailed it. A little bit of touching those two worlds, but in the middle.
That could have altered our opinion.
Oh, the vocals could have totally ruined the song.
Because you can be an amazing guitar player, bass player, and whatever. You do it all, but your vocals need to string it together.
And I felt like in this song, the vocals were kind of the glue that held it all together. So I really like the vocals.
It was a perfect mixture, not being too much of one compared to the other. It was
just right in the middle.
The perfect balance.
I agree with you 100%. I'm blown away. I'm blown away by the quality of the track, the quality of the execution, the guitar solo. The guitar solo was just phenomenal. Phenomenal. The guitar solo on this track. I mean, this is a song that's very explosive.
Yeah.
And the guitar solo was like adding fire. Adding fuel to the fire.
Adding fire to the fire.
Adding fire to the fire and then putting some fuel on top of the fire. Like, it's kind of felt like that. It just exploded the track even more. And because you're seeing him playing the solo, that makes the solo feel even bigger. Like, the visual aspect, it makes everything feel bigger. The only thing that I'm going to say that perhaps needed a little bit of tweaking is the bass. Because sometimes the bass in the mix would come into the forefront, sometimes would drop into the back, and sometimes when it came into the forefront was a little bit too pronounced. Like, you could really... And don't get me wrong, I love the bass on a track but I think it has to have its momentum. It has to have its right place. And sometimes it felt like the fading on the mix was like going up and down. So you hear the bass, now you don't hear the bass, now you hear the bass, now you don't hear the bass. So to me, that's the only thing that I felt like it had to be a little bit more controlled in terms of when you're going to hear that bass and when you don't need that bass to be so much in the forefront and drop down a little bit. I like it when there's at least a little bit of a roadmap. And on this track, when I'm listening to it, it just feels like the mixing wasn't as spot on as it could have been in order for that bass to have more of a consistent role from beginning to end. I'm not saying that you can jump the bass into the forefront, but there has to be a purpose in why that bass is jumping into the forefront. Like if there's a little bit of a bass bridge or something like that. as it is in the fast momentum, in the fast tempo that this song has, in the momentum that it carries, I felt like the bass should have more of a consistent role, be more of a layer, and not be as up and down as it is throughout the whole track. Outside of that, aces. And when you think about it, just one guy, aces. That's all I gotta say. Good start to this Monday doubleheader.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, guys, let us know your thoughts. What do you think of this one-man band from Canada, from Toronto? Hit us up in the comments section. We'll be chatting back to you, and we'll see you at the next video. See ya.
See ya.